We come to you live at 6 a.m. with some breaking news. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampur. Thanks so much for joining us here. Right now, a homicide investigation is underway in Lemon Grove. At least one person has died.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is alive along Grove Street, just south of State Route 94, and you just got an update there, Dana Marie.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good morning, Eric and Netta. It's a very active scene here. Police tell me that two men got into a gruesome fight, and we now know a 51-year-old man is dead. Listen to what that lieutenant shared with us about more detail on what happened early this morning.
This morning at about 2 a.m., deputies received a radio call of some sort of fight at the 3700 block of Grove Street, just over my shoulder here. When they arrived on scene, they found a 51-year-old male that was going through some type of medical distress. The deputies and paramedics attempted some type of life-saving measures. Unfortunately, he was pronounced deceased at the scene. Preliminary information was that there was an altercation between him and I believe a 32-year-old male. That male has been detained. We haven't made any arrests yet. We're just at the early stages of this investigation.
Now, police tell me the fight happened in the apartment complex right behind me. Lieutenant Chris Steffen says a 51-year-old male showed no signs of stab wounds or even gunshots. He described the interaction between him and that 32-year-old suspect as a bad fight that just didn't end well. I did ask about the relationship between the two men, and police tell me they still don't know. Police do say, though, the 51-year-old man lives in that apartment complex where the street is currently blocked off. Now, this investigation will be going on well into the morning, I'm being told, with crime tape blocking off Grove Street. It's not a major traffic concern for police because it is a side street and the main roads which lead to the freeway are still open. Although do take note, there will be some congestion on Lemon Grove Way this morning. We're just starting to see most of those people in this area get back on their morning commute. We're seeing a lot more traffic around this area, but again, that suspect is detained this morning. Very preliminary information. Stick with us here because if there's any further updates, of course, we'll bring them to you as soon as we get them. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from Lemon Grove.
And deputies are investigating another homicide in Lemon Grove. Right now, authorities do not think they are connected.
So this fatal shooting happened around 8 o'clock last night near Lemon Grove Park. That's the one off of Washington Street. You see crime tape there. Deputies tell us they got reports of several shots fired. Right now, we do not know much about the victim. Deputies also do not have a suspect description. So call the Sheriff's Department if you have any information.
And this morning, the man is in custody after turning himself in for a fatal hit and run. The crash happened around 8 o'clock last night in Rancho Bernardo. Police say a male pedestrian was in the crosswalk of Bernardo Center Drive when he was hit by a minivan. The van left and the pedestrian later died in the hospital. Police tell us the driver then turned himself in early this morning. Today marks a new push in addressing the homeless crisis in our region. A new homeless shelter opens in the Midway District.
CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live to explain what's new about this shelter, plus the count that's saying homelessness is rising. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning. It's coming at a time when the latest count that was done on those who are unhoused by the Downtown Authority reached a new record there for the month of August. So this comes at a good time. And look, we were here months ago when this was something that was just being started. This was something that they were just starting to build. And this bridge shelter is now complete and will open today. It's going to serve about 150 people. And what makes this shelter unique is the number of services that will be provided on site. There are going to be mental health and drug treatment services on site. The shelter is also going to operate 24/7, 7 days a week, offering disease screenings, case management, and housing navigation. Now, it was put up in about 6 months' time, so it was an aggressive timeline, but it's something that they're able to get done. The county, the Lucky Duck Foundation, as well as the Alpha Project. But again, it's happening in the wake of some alarming numbers. The latest homeless count that we've received, again, from the Downtown Authority says that about 1,600 people in the month of August were unhoused. Of course, that is the homeless count, which we've heard time and time again is usually lower than what the reality is. But speaking with both the CEO of the Lucky Duck Foundation as well as County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher, they do believe that this is the type of shelter that can make an impact.
Housing is important, but these shelters can come online so quickly and cost effectively that it's not like a half or a third of the cost. It's like 1/15 to 1/20th the cost to bring the shelter online. compared to housing.
This community stepped up. Too often communities say, we want you to tackle homelessness as long as you don't do it anywhere near me. And this community in this area were willing to be a part of the solution. And they were willing to do that, and we need more of that throughout San Diego County.
And it will be the Alpha project, I should say, excuse me, that will be managing and operating this bridge shelter on a daily basis. Again, we're right here in the Midway area, which saw its own rash of homeless issues, including that row of tents that was over there near Sports Arena Boulevard. Again, this is an area that has seen its fair share of homelessness, and again, as Supervisor Nathan Fletcher just pointed out, also wants to try to do something about it as well, too. Eric and Netta.
Chris Groh reporting live. Thank you, Chris. This morning, the search continues for the person who shot a teenager at a large party at Mission Bay. So this happened just after midnight yesterday at Leisure Lagoon. We're told a fight broke out and someone pulled out a handgun and fired off 3 shots. One of the bullets hit a 16-year-old boy in the shoulder. He is expected to survive. You're asked to call police if you have any information about this. Meantime, a teen suspect is in custody this morning in connection with the shooting death of a 16-year-old in National City. Damian Estrada was shot on July 20th and was taken off life support 8 days later. National City Police detectives and U.S. Marshals arrested the teen suspect last week. The suspect name is not being released because he is a minor.
And now this morning, about 80 homes in Del Cerro are under a boil water notice. So here's the message. Now, city crews say they're working to replace a valve that broke on a pipeline yesterday along part of Del Cerro Boulevard. They hope to finish their work by the middle of this week. For now, the city says potable water stations are available for those who are impacted. And if you're planning to go to the beach, listen here. You're advised to stay out of the ocean today. You're urged to avoid water contact at all of our beaches and bays due to the rain for 72 hours. That's because of stormwater runoff.
Trash and gross things that get caught along the side of the street. We think about water running down and those the drains that are on the side of the streets. Again, that stormwater drainage goes right to the ocean. So it's picking up every little thing along the way.
So some of that is still in the water even from Friday's rain. Right now, as you see all the red dots right there, the shoreline is closed from the border all the way up through the Silver Strand area. This is the map from San Diego County's website. Officials do say the beach closures will remain in place until ocean water samples meet our state health standards. And now let's check in with Evan. Any more rain possibly today?
Over the mountains and deserts, still a few lingering isolated showers possible in the forecast. But for the majority of us, we're going to be looking at partly cloudy skies. Humidity is going to remain today, so we'll still feel it a bit muggy out there. The good news is that at least temperatures are back down to about average, so we're not running into those well above average temperatures that we saw for a good portion of last week. We came off the heels of a 10-day heat streak. We ran right into the wet weather and cooler temperatures, and now we're kind of balancing out, trying to stabilize along the coastline and inland as well. It is not a dry morning out there as we start off your Monday. Still over the mountains and deserts primarily, we're running into some scattered showers. That's important to recognize out there, especially toward Borrego Springs. Earlier, Pine Valley saw a pretty decent cell come through, so still some wet weather that we're tracking as we start off the day. A wider look shows you how much of that weather is moving off to the northeast of us. The Vegas area, Flagstaff, Phoenix, all dealing with plenty of scattered thunderstorms. And we will have some of those scattered thunderstorms in our forecast today, mainly over the mountains and deserts as the remnants of K just kind of clears its way out. So we're dealing with drier weather from about tomorrow afternoon onward, and it looks like that dry weather will also come alongside those cooler temperatures. In some cases, not just cooler than last week, but cooler than average for this time of year. Looking at your afternoon highs out there, 82 for Mira Mesa as your forecast high, 86 for Santee and El Cajon. Looking up the coastline, it looks like we'll make it to 75 for Encinitas, 79 for Carlsbad, and 81 for Vista this afternoon. Let's take a look at traffic. Want to let you know of a closure that you can be expecting as we head into the nighttime hours. 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. The 8 and 5 connector ramps are going to be having plenty of closures. So again, that'll be in the Mission Valley area from I-5 to the 8 and vice versa. So from the 8 to the 5, you likely will run into some delays and be rerouted as they'll be working on some construction in the area. So expect that to take place from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. tomorrow. Back to you.
Evan, thank you so much for that update. And now this morning, the nation continues to honor the lives lost on 9/11, 21 years after the attacks.
A ceremony will be held today at San Diego State University. The school also placed 2,977 flags in front of Hepner Hall, one for each life lost that day. Service members we spoke to say it's important to remember 9/11.
It was a really somber and important day in our history, and much like Pearl Harbor, those of us that were born after that, we don't remember how that felt. It certainly did impact everyone. If you think of airport security, stadium security, military installation, all these force protection measures.
Today's ceremony will include a moment of silence at 8:46 a.m. commemorating the moment the North Tower of the World Trade Center was struck. The event is open to the public.